Welcome to the Mentor Podcast, where the most highly motivated entrepreneurs come to get their weekly dose of financial stability with host LeGrand, as well as other nationally recognized thought leaders who will teach you how to get, grow, and protect your wealth.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another issue of the mentorpodcast.com. If you haven't joined that already, go ahead and do it now. Then you will get notified every Wednesday when it airs, and you can get back to the archive site. It's got hundreds and hundreds of podcast calls over the last few years. Really good calls from really good people, just like I have here. Jimmy Rios is a businessman that will talk to us today about how to grow your business, get to the next level of your business, and why a lot of people don't ever get to that level. So, how are you, Jimmy?
Hi, Ron. How you doing? Thanks for having me on today.
Okay. So, tell us who you are and what you do, Jimmy.
Sure. My name is Jimmy Rios. I am the owner of Rios Business Advisors and Rios Business Funding, among other businesses that I own here. I'm in Arizona, right outside of Phoenix, in a little town called Maricopa, close to Chandler, and we do business in all 50 states, and just opened our offices in Medellin, Colombia. So we're international now. So it's really exciting to be able to spread the wealth and share the knowledge of what we've been doing for about 23 years in this business, and how we can help more businesses get to the next level and scale.
Okay, that sounds interesting. All right. So what exactly do you do in layman's terms?
So we built I'd like to call it an ecosystem of financial services, but we really, our claim to fame is what we call the I-level to high-level program. And what that is a program that we took where we used the methodologies of high-level finance in being able to get and use leverage as needed to be able to grow a business, but taking away the burden of debt. And what that means is we work with an investment firm that helps us put a fraction of the money that comes from the debt into the investment side, so it produces optimally and at the same time pays off the debt while helping grow and stabilize and do the things that the business needs to keep growing, maybe hiring more people, getting more equipment, doing the things that it wasn't able to do because of the factor of money, of capital. And by being able to acquire capital and then use it to make more money and then get rid of the burden of debt, you're putting yourself in a position of gain, in a position of where now the business can grow the way it needs to. And we work very optimally as a team in being able to achieve that, because if I leave it to you to do it, I'm not saying just you, but in general, you might not do the things we tell you to do, and you might end up taking that 100,000 and going to Vegas and putting it all on black.
Wait a minute. You got students who actually don't do what you tell them to do. Is that what you're saying, sir?
100%.
I'm sure that we don't have that problem in the building. Yeah, that is.
So yeah, it's been a dynamic program because it's taken methodologies that are not accessible or attainable to the common Joe when we're talking about high level finance, right? I think we get traditionally stuck in the mindset that I can only do this, and I go to a bank and I apply for a loan and I get denied, and now what? Now your credit suffers. You're not structured properly, and everything starts going downhill from there. We think that if every common Joe had the tools that the high-level finance gurus have, we can help every business get to where they need to go. They just don't know. They don't know what they don't know, and it's not their fault. It took me 23 years of more mistakes and errors in building a business and a system to get to where I am. What I did was just kind of, shorten the distance and the goalposts so that you can get there a little quicker, maybe with less headaches, by having somebody that can be an advisor, a mentor, to help you get there. And you're going to make your own mistakes, but at least you can avoid some of the ones that I already made.
All right. Well, What's your role in this? Coaching them along or getting them funding or both?
Well, I think I've become more of an advisor and a mentor now. I think I have set up my system now to be able to have the experts in our fields to help them as we develop their blueprint for success. We're going to be able to identify where the weak areas are to be able to then bring on the solutions providers in our system. So I've become more the vocal point face of the company in talking about and educating people about what we do and how we do it. I used to do probably 8 to 10, maybe 12 appointments a day on my own. And you know as well as I do that that's not efficient to be able to help more people as we're growing in a nationwide and international status. So we need to be very smart in how we scale ourselves to help more people so that we don't lose the message of how we go about doing our business. So we're the walking, talking billboards to our own program, right? We walk the walk and talk the talk. And I mean, everything that I've implemented has been from experience, right? I don't offer or recommend anything that I haven't tried myself, right? And that's where years of being in the trenches help you to be able to guide a little bit better because, you know, I've done it, I've seen it, I heard it, you know.
Well, I don't know that you answered my question. What is your main business function?
Oh, the vertical. I would say the main vertical is in the funding arena, right? With Rios Business Funding. I think our consulting firm comes from the fact that people come to us and they say, well, I have this, I have that problem, and then we direct traffic from there. But I think step one for almost everyone is in the funding stage, initial
So
funding
then you
stage.
help your customers get funding to grow their business.
Correct. Yep,
Yeah.
that's correct. We start there.
All right. And what does that entail? What kind of funding are you talking about?
So we do an analysis of their credit, and we start looking at different factors, obviously financials and otherwise, to be able to kind of put the puzzle pieces together on what we have to work with. Right? We look at a personal financial statements, and we look at assets and liabilities and all the different components of what this person has. What story are they telling? Right? And then based on those factors, we're able to kind of see, okay, you're a startup, right? We're going to need to get 100,000. Let's look and see how we're going to go about getting you this money. But before that, we need to look at structure. We need to look at, you know, how you're set up. Well, do you have a bank account? Do you have a business bank account? You know, these different factors that many that are starting may not have. Some that are in business may not have. I've seen it that they've been in business for 2, 3, 5 years, and they still don't have a business bank account, right? So I mean, we see all walks of life. I even see, you know, very big companies that come to us, and again, there's always going to be something that I find when I do my analysis and it's not a bad thing to be able to accept that there's weaknesses in your structure or in your business model. My job is to find them, tweak them, and get you as a coach to get you where you need to be, right? Somebody comes to us and says, well, I need 100,000. I'm going to ask you, well, what do you need the money for? And then we start getting very finite in the solution, because just because you think you need 100,000, that might not be it. Maybe we might need to fix some other things, and that number might be higher, right? So we look at things very holistically on how we're going to help you.
All right. So what kind of funding are you talking about? For houses, for business, for what?
Mainly business, but we do encompass other criteria when it comes to funding, because just because you own a business doesn't mean we can't access different modes of funding mechanisms to get you the capital that you need. So we've implemented so many creative financing tools to be able to get that capital. It's not the traditional, it can be the traditional. I go to the bank and get X amount of money at X rate. It can be SBA. It can be any myriad of business types of financing. But if you don't have business financing, the acumen, the credit, then we need to go with personal credit, and then we need to start looking at maybe deposits, and we'll look at assets. We'll look at crypto accounts. Any other financial statements. We're even in the market now where we can finance and take a solar contract, and we can actually get money from the solar contract on a person's house, and we can turn that into a money generating proposal. So there's a lot of different ways that we're putting together solutions for businesses that need capital.
So, but you fund it personally for LLCs, or, I mean, mostly for LLCs or mostly individuals?
Mainly for LLCs. If somebody comes to us as a sole prop that is not set up, then obviously we'll want to get them set up and do all the work to get them on paper how they need to show and how they need to be. But we can work with personal credit and personal income as well.
Is it recourse or non-recourse?
Both. Actually, one of our strengths is non-recourse. We really are very heavy in the non-recourse side of the arena.
My lawnmower, my guy picked right now today, mowed lawn.
Oh no.
We'll be going shortly, I hope. Okay. I know the loans depend on personal credit, but some of your loans go to the LLC. Maybe not personally guaranteed, but still based on their qualification where you make the loan.
Well, this is where we get very creative, because we own a credit company, right? And so inside of that, we also have PGs, so personal guarantors, that we can facilitate in structuring a deal. We have the ability to help the individual get their credit where it needs to be in a very short period of time. So we can construct the different parameters that are needed to be able to qualify. I was an underwriter for 20 years. So they say, if you know the rules of the game, you're going to win, right? So having been on that end, I look at every deal in the same fashion. That's why I wrote the book, Decoding the Mystery of Business Credit, and helping people not just, leverage with their personal credit, which is obviously a big no-no over time. You bootstrap and you do what you have to do when you start, but over time you want to be able to start gravitating over to the business side and doing that end.
Straight. You have loans for people as entrepreneurs, but you also coach them how to use that money and make more money with it. That's all right.
That's right. That's right.
I write that down on the table, man. That's your elevator speech right there.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. How many people get into loans, right? In the idea or the hedge that they're going to do well with their business, and then a pandemic comes. A pandemic
or don't do anything because they don't think they have the money. That's
right. Exactly.
Fighting on that for 40 years. All right. Yep. So tell me, I think you're going to give away a gift to everybody, aren't you? What do you got?
Yeah, definitely. Anybody that is listening to us on the mentorpodcast.com, we want to give you our ebook that it is on Amazon. It's Decoding the Mystery of Business Credit. We're going to send you the actual ebook either in a flip book format where you can flip through the pages on your computer, or we can send you a PDF or both, so you can enjoy and read and learn. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful gems of information that I've gathered over many years in helping businesses grow. And
again, thementorpodcast.com /RIOS. All right.
Yes.
Tell me about the terms of this money.
So, I mean, when we do our blueprint and we start getting terms, approvals, every loan is going to have its own parameters, right? Based on, the situation for that client. But because we work on the other side of the equation where we're actually coming in and paying off that debt, we structure it in a form that your monthly payments are already accounted for inside of the loan that we get. So we set up a reserve to be able to make the payments while our compound interest engine is making money to be able to pay off that debt, right? So that's a great thing, because a lot of people, they account for that money and the debt by having to pay it out of their profits. If you can keep your profit margins and keep producing on the right side the way it needs to, and not have to worry about the debt side of it, because we're paying it through our structure, then your money is making money. And every month we're having a review with you to show you the increase on your portfolio and the decrease on your debt. So you're using this money very strategically and being able to grow. Obviously, there's going to be immediate needs for the money. So we let you implement those needs through our blueprint, but we're going to put money to work in your favor so that we can get rid of the debt and not be stuck for 3, 5, 7, 10 years paying on a debt that you already used.
So you actually are using the money from the loan to pay on the debt.
Correct. Well, we're using about 2 or 3 months of reserves to let the money compound inside of our platform. And as it's compounding, obviously, we can take withdrawals every month to pay off the debt and obviously use it. For example, you will pay 1099 capital gains on the plus from the portfolio, but we work with you on minimization tax strategies to be able to offset that. Because I mean, think about it. If you come in with 25,000 and it grows to 250,000, right? You got a pretty big capital gains tax you're going to be facing. So we work with you strategically on that facet. But in the same time, we've just, on the right side of your business, we've just taken care of a lot of things for you. You know, maybe your marketing budget for the year. Maybe we were able to hire more people that you needed. Maybe we got all your trucks and things for your business. We're able to help you look at things in a whole different pattern as opposed to just the traditional set. Because traditionally, even SBA, they'll give you a loan. You'll go through some hoops, but you'll get money. But they don't tell you how to use that money, right? And if you don't pay that SBA right, you know, the IRS comes knocking, you know. So we want to be able to help people do the right thing and make the right choices. And this is how we learned how to do it.
So these loans, what kind of interest rate do they carry and other costs getting into them?
One of the biggest advantages that we've been able to do, because when you've been in this game for a long time, you build really good relationships with institutions and they approve us on some really dynamic products. So we're able to get 0% interest many times for 12 to 24 months and you utilize, you know, that aspect of it to do the arbitrage that we do to be able to make money on the money that we borrow. So when we get interest rates that low, it helps us do the things we do on compounding because we have very little expense when it comes to the interest rate. And that's a big advantage. But even if we have to go ugly, like I say, sometimes we have to go ugly to go pretty. And the ugly means, you know, maybe a hard money loan or even a merchant cash advance. The way we set it up is going to be to your advantage because we're managing that process. So we make sure that our system is covering all the bases so that we can get out of that debt quickly and do the things that we need to do. So debt for debt is really not a problem if you're producing, if you're making it produce for you. If you make it unproductive and go spend it on things that you don't need that are not generating income for you, then it becomes a liability, right? We're in the market of building assets.
So when you say building assets, what are you referring to?
Well, let me elaborate on that. I mean, when we take 25,000 per se of money that we borrowed and we invest it and we make, I don't know, 200,000, right? We pay off the debt and we have X amount of money left over. Well, that not all that money is getting spent on the business. You're going to have to get very strategic in purchasing some other things, maybe life insurance, maybe some real estate. We're going to look at a lot of different strategies to help you offset the capital gains on that money, or you're going to pay the IRS. So we look at generating assets in your business so that you have monies that are coming in that are being used to being put to good work, right? And so if you buy real estate, that's an asset, right? There's going to be a debt tied to it, but it's got depreciation, it's got equity, it's got tax benefits, so it's an asset, right? If you buy a vehicle and you put it to work with Uber and it's returning a factor to you, that's a plus, that's an asset, right? So we're always looking at cash generating, investments that are going to help offset the bite that is going to come, and structure, right? Maybe, you're going to buy another business, or you want to expand, or, do different things. So we're always looking at how to make money work for you in all ways.
From what I'm hearing, you want to lend money to companies who are making money so you can get paid off quickly. In other words, income producing assets in the world of real estate.
Right.
Or
Otherwise, real estate is one of the avenues. We have other verticals we work with.
Okay. All right. Well, we could stay on here all day and we'd never cover everything. So, guys, write down the mentorpodcast.com/RIOS, and then you can create a relationship with him. He'll send you a book, and you guys can figure out if you want to work together or not going forward. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, sir. You opened my eyes here a little bit. I'm probably going to be coming at you pretty soon on my own.
I'd love to talk more, Ron. I appreciate your time. It's a pleasure to be on here with you.
Thank you. Hey, I'm looking at that sign behind you. I'm going to give you a tip. No, you really need to get your phone number. I guess, is that your phone number?
Oh, do it on this side.
moved up to the top over your head, because I can't tell you.
I know. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to work on getting that. All I did was use a template of one of my business cards and put it as a background. But now that I see that, I'm thinking I don't have to do that. I'm just going to move that up there.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ron. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
That's all for this edition of the Mentor Podcast. To connect with Ron and learn how you can attain financial freedom, as well as up-to-date strategies to grow and protect your wealth based on today's discussion, go to www.connectwiththementor.com.